What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to another Sync Hustle Mindset live stream. This is your man, the producer whisperer. Man, I'm so glad to be here. Missed you guys this week. Was really anxious to get back to the wins because I could just feel the energy this week. I could just feel that you guys were hustling your butts off this week. Um, in celebration of the writer strike being over with. Yeah, I wish I had some sound effects. I need to get one of them stream deck things so I can hit the little buttons for the sound effects and stuff because it's cause to celebrate. I think they're about to officially ink the agreement that solidifies the fact that they're going to get, pretty much the majority of their demands and they're going to get back to work. And I'm happy, man. You should be happy too, because scripted television is back. I knew it was back when I watched the first episode of Jimmy Kimmel. I'm a Jimmy Kimmel fan, so shout out to Jimmy. Hold on, let me put this on my list real quick. So it's real dope. It's a real cool thing that we're back. And I guess the studios were losing a lot of money. Like I was saying last week, they were losing billions of dollars. Every week, every couple of weeks, they're losing so much money. So they had to come up with some agreement because, unfortunately, money makes the world go round. But this is the week in sync. We're going to be talking about all things sync licensing and things that happen, with Smash Coast this week, and hopefully things that happen with you guys. I'm looking very forward to speaking at the Shades of Sync concert November 4th in Atlanta, where I'm going to be joining some of the top sync educators in the industry, and we're going to be talking about all things sync. My particular topic, I'm going to be talking about the, how to get into a sync agency. How can you get the attention of a sync agent and things that sync agents look for? Because if you guys don't know, Smash Coast is a sync agency. We're a publisher among other things, but officially we're a sync agency in the way that we operate because we actually go out and pitch the music. Like we're out there like crazy pitching that music and trying to create working relationships between you guys and our clients. And that's what sync agents do. Libraries don't do that. Just in case you guys didn't know, libraries pretty much already have relationships with production companies and so on, and so they get the music and pretty much have a platform for those clients to be able to have a private login and password and go in and fish around. Usually they're searching for your music by keywords, um, but there's not a lot of back and forth between the people at the library and the clients. They just have a platform that's very convenient that allows the client to be able to go in there and grab your music whenever they need to. And this type of platform usually ends up with writers getting um, more placements, I would say, just because even though the libraries are huge, just the convenience of those clients to be able to go in there and grab the music whenever they want to means that they're going to go in there more often and grab the music. Trust me, Smash Coast is a boutique company, so uh, we're just now working on our digital platform. So because we're boutique, we work personally with our clients. So all of our work is like, hand in hand with our clients. We're going through the emails, we're, on the phones, we're doing Zoom calls and that kind of stuff, right? And so we do well because it's our type of model. We do custom work. We're a bespoke company and we specialize in bespoke urban music. So um, having a specialty means that we have to go back and forth with the clients, especially with advertising, that kind of thing. But at the same time, we're possibly losing clients because not every client wants to work that way. A lot of clients don't have that type of bandwidth to be able to go back and forth and, take all the time that it needs to get these projects done, especially music supervisors. Music supervisors are always under a time crunch. That's why they tend to work with libraries more than sync agents, because a library will just offer them a platform in which they can just sign in, search for the music they need, do the license, download, and keep it moving. And at the end of the day, it's all about customer service, right? It's all about making sure that the client gets the music that they need in the most expeditious fashion as possible and that they're happy about it. It's cool to get a placement. It's cool to get that supervisor, that company on your team. But just like a customer walking into your brick and mortar, you want them to come back. And the difference between them coming back and not coming back comes down to their experience, how they were treated when they were with you, and how smooth things are going. Like I said, there's a lot of pressure when it comes to these music supervisors in their jobs, and they want to be able to get the music, get in there, get out, get it into the media. And so not only do companies like mine have to, you know, up our game and start work, get our platform in place so we have that digital presence for them. Um, but creators as well have to do whatever they need to do to make sure that once they're in contact with a company like ours or a library or music supervisor, that they're ready to go. Like there's not, you have to alleviate as much back and forth as possible. Um, and so, yeah, I know I went on a little tangent because I was waiting for some people to come in here. So I got a couple people. Happy Friday, y'all. What's up, my people? My people. Kim is in here. Sagara Production. What's up? Rose, what's up? How you doing? Happy Friday. What's up, everybody? How you guys doing, man? I miss you guys. So we're gonna keep it short and sweet today. I'm not gonna just beat you guys in the head like I usually do. I like to run off, man, but we're going to keep it short and sweet because it's really nice outside, at least here in Cali. I got some stuff to do, going to get out in these streets. And I know you guys are busy too, so we're not going to keep you. So, for the couple of you guys that are in here right now, we can go ahead and jump into the wins. Um, we're just going to talk about the state of sync. I started off talking a little bit about the writer strike and how happy we are that it's over with. And yeah, man, happy Friday, Walter. What's up? Cherry, what's up? How you doing? I get so happy when I see you guys pop in here because I pop in here at 11, right? And then you know how it is. It's always like quiet. I'm looking at the number over here, it's 0. And I'm like, man, are people gonna come in here? And because I didn't promote during the week. I don't promote or nothing. I'm bad about that, mind on other things or whatever. So I'm really, really hopeful when I pop on here that people pop on here. And I appreciate you guys, man. I really do. Zello, what's up, man? You guys been really busy this week. Let's go ahead and pop these wins in here. Let's see what's going on. I know we've been busy at Smash Coast. You got to keep pressure applied, man. If you're trying to level up, you can't take your foot off the gas at all, man. You got to keep going. And just for clarity, like what I was talking about a little bit earlier, if anybody asks you guys, like, what is Smash Coast? What do they do? Like, technically, officially, you could say we're a sync agency. That's what we do. We are sync agents. Okay. Are we publishers? Yeah. Are we a library? Almost. We're almost gonna have a catalog. But our official title, if we're pulling out our badge would say sync agent. And I was explaining earlier that a sync agent differs from a library in the sense that a sync agent is actively out there pitching your music, trying to get you gigs. They're not waiting like a library for the client, to come and log in and search for music. Some sync agents do have that ability for, they do have a platform, but a lot don't. A lot are boutique style. And when you're working with a company that's actively pitching your music, then there's a lot of communication, or there should be a lot of communication between you guys and that company. A lot of proactivity on your part when you're working with a company that takes your music and tries to create opportunity with it. Then it would be to your advantage to really be proactive with that company. Like, hey, I just did an EP. Hey, are you guys looking for holiday music? Hey, these events are coming up. Do you not need music for this? Hey, I'm working with this new artist. Tell me what you think. But always having your sync mindset, in high gear, and then being proactive is going to translate to you, not only looking better and more professional, but at the end of the day, you're going to end up with more placements because you're going to get more attention paid to you. The closed mouth doesn't get fed, you guys. So just dropping music off and being quiet, not just with us, with any company, is like a no. It's all about communication. We work with you. It's not just the music, especially Smash Codes. We work with you. We're a sync agency. So we're really, really trying to have the communication up when necessary in regards to your music and that kind of thing. So yeah, there it is. So look into the comments right quick. I can already see we're gonna have low numbers today. So that's cool though. We can keep it short and sweet and get out of here. Have the wins, do a little quick weekly recap and a quick Q&A, and then we can sew it up and get out of here. What's up, Shay Keys? How you doing? Cherry dropping that one. Let's go. Had a cinematographer use one of my Afro beats for a project with Pretty Little Thing brand. Got through my first multiple revision submission. Oh yeah, it was crazy, huh? First of all, fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis to Cherry. That's good work right there, girl. That's good work. The hustle is strong in that one. The hustle is strong. Let's see, I'm reading it over. Cinematographer. Yeah, and that's just another lane, man. Everybody needs music. Videographers, YouTubers, you know, that's micro licensing. So I don't know whatever deal you did, it was, something to expose your music, so it was a good deal. So fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. So who's next? I know someone else had it popping this week for sure. There we go, Walter. What's up? He says, Walter says, I landed two tracks, back-to-back scenes on the latest Catfish episode. First of all, fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis, because Walter's out there getting it. You killing it. So let's let him feel it, you guys. Let's add him in the comments. Fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. And then somebody tell me how the hell Catfish is still on the air. Like, that show is like over 10 years old, right? So we've seen like a decade of people getting gypped, lied to, sending money to people. They finding out the person's not the person and all kind of stuff. And so I don't understand how a person can get online and call themselves dating somebody, call someone their boyfriend or their girlfriend, and they've never met them. They've never even FaceTimed them or done any kind of Zoom call or nothing. The person's always made excuses, and it's just crazy, man. But I'm glad it's still on because Walter just got some money. So got some money from Catfish. That's MTV. So fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. But it's a trip. Like if I'm scrolling through the channels, I might stop on Catfish. I've got stuck on Catfish a few times in recent weeks, because I'll ask myself when it pops on there, like, how the hell is this still on? And then I guess I realize how it's still on because half an hour later I'm still watching it. So it's kind of captivating to find out, you know, the hook at the end if the person is the person. And it's sad because on Catfish it never ends up well, hardly. They always end up getting gypped or lied to or something. It's crazy. Oh yeah, she's fine as hell. I follow her on social media. She's a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model, like all that. Yeah, she bad. So they actually did a contest, a host contest, if you guys remember, and they had people audition for that. When I saw her, I was like, yeah, her. So Shay Key says, this week I converted all the networking I did at the production music conference, new library publisher agreements. That's what I'm saying, man. You convert your knowledge into a hustle and you convert that hustle into results. So fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis to Shay Keys. I love it. I love it. I love it. You guys are getting it, man. You guys are so advanced. I love it. I love it. Sagara, what's up, man? Sagara says, missed the last stream since I was so busy, but I made an EP of beats for Jay to rap on. Planted the seeds for ad content opportunities with an AI image company. First Telemundo placement this week. That's big, Telemundo. So that's all big. Fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. Sagara, you're already cleaning up all the fire emojis every week, man. So if you miss a week, that's cool. We know you're out there getting it. That's real. And shout out to Jay Matthews out there, man, rapping like he's running for president. He's shaking hands and kissing babies, boy. That man is out there politicking. So Couple fire emojis for that brother too. We see you. Revision, what's up? How you doing? Happy Friday. Welcome to the live stream. I'm so glad to see you guys here, man. For real, for real. So Revision says, got my first NBA placement. Fire emojis for that this week. Almost done with a sports instrumental album and start a new job on Monday. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. If it's a full-time job, my only advice would be, and I don't even know if I got to tell you this, people get, if it's paying good, people get caught up in it. Just make sure, if you're giving them 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, if you're not too tired, if they're not beating you up, make sure you give yourself a couple hours at least at the end of that every day. Um, and that's a piece of advice I should give because like I know people that have done that. Like, we do music, they get a good gig, the gig is paying money, and so next thing you know, their weight is over there leaning on that gig, because we need the money, and they kind of start drifting away from their gift. Um, so always lean on your gift, man. And not even sync revision. Fire emojis, fire emojis. I feel you, but like I was saying last week, like sometimes as creatives, we got to make music for no reason at all. That's in order to keep your love for it and to keep your skills sharp. If every time you sit down to make music is for work, then music is gonna start your perception of it is gonna change. It's gonna become work. um, I love music, I always have since I was about 4 or 5 years old, been tinkling on these keys, doing my thing. And when I first got into sync, I went so hard that first couple of years, you know, I went from, like any other producer, I go in there and cook whenever I want to. I work with who I want to. I make whatever I'm feeling, whatever's in my heart at the time. And I went from that to, you know, we need a bunch of EDM beats next week, or we need this, or we need that. So not only did I had to learn a bunch of genres, but I totally stopped making music that I wanted to make. And I was happy, you know, consider this like that job I'm telling you. So like I was happy because I was getting a ton of placements. I knew the money was gonna come and this and that. And I didn't care. Like I had totally given up trying to get to the industry. I didn't want to get signed to no label no more. Once I found Sync, I'm like, this is it. I can sit home, don't got to deal with no knuckleheads, make my music and this and that. So after a couple years of doing it, hadn't really worked with any artists anymore. I was basically an R&B producer when I started, so I was working with singers. I used to do vocal coaching and all that kind of stuff. And so, but I hadn't done that, and started to realize that I would go to turn my equipment on to do work for Sync, and start to have that attitude, like like any other job, when you don't have a job and you're job hunting, man, one of the happiest feelings there is when that job hits you up and says, okay, we're hired, you're hired. The first happiness is when you get the interview and it's like, oh, you're like, oh, damn, they're gonna interview me. You get all nervous. But when you get hired, it's like, and you haven't had no job for a minute, money been low and stuff, it's like, oh man, like I'm on and popping. You're already spending money in your head, man. When I get my first check, I'm gonna buy such and such, and I'm gonna pay off my T-Mobile or whatever, and this and that. But like 6 months into that, your alarm go off to go to work. You like, "Ugh, damn it, I gotta go to this job. No matter how good it is at first, you're gonna get used to it. And when you get used to it, then it's gonna start feeling different or whatever. This sync stuff is the same way. I want you guys to get to the point where you guys are working so much on sync, you're getting so many placements. It's not an issue of as far as like what kind of money you're getting. It's just the fact that you're getting up and you're doing this every day. It's not a bad thing to do. Like I'm not complaining. It's not like we're out there emptying garbage cans or whatever. But I'm saying if you don't do it, if you don't keep leaning on the reason why you started doing music, which is because you love doing music, then yeah, it can start getting stale to you. You can start looking at it different. And I don't want y'all to do that. You guys are dope producers, dope artists, dope singers, dope songwriters. If you don't keep that sword sharp, you will not stay dope. Don't think just because you have that talent and that you dope at it right now that won't regress and you won't start sounding stale. You know, you got to do that, and that all you got to do is keep working with other people to stay relevant in your sound. Keep studying to stay relevant in your sound, and for God's sake, sometime go in there and turn your equipment on and cook for no reason. with no influence. Don't worry about what you heard. Don't worry about what you think people are going to think about it. Don't even think anybody's ever going to hear it. Just sit down and come from your purest place, from your soul, from your heart, and just cook no matter what it sounds like. I'm telling you, you do this. This is like this is like freehand cooking versus cooking with a cookbook. You know, a lot of chefs can cook with a cookbook, but you know, the ones that can just go in there and they're not measuring spices, they're just grabbing a little bit. You know, let me get a tablespoon, and they know what a tablespoon is with their finger pinches. Let me get a teaspoon of this or whatever. That's real production. That's real producer stuff right there. If you go in there and you cook for no reason and you just use your senses, you know, you're gonna keep your sword sharp. You're gonna make your best stuff. So let me go back here to the comments real quick because we're still in the wins. We're still in the wins, you guys. I love seeing these fire emojis. Hold on. Yeah, talk about the balance. Yeah, you know, it's like anything. If you pay attention too much to one thing, then you're gonna neglect something else. And sync is something that you definitely can't neglect. This is something that's gonna carry you for the rest of your lives. You guys are gonna be doing this forever. You're not gonna be able to say that if you get a record deal. You get unless you're doing, well, not in hip hop or urban music anyway. Now, isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy that you can get signed as a country artist or a jazz artist or you guys know a couple other genres, and you can have a career forever, like doing shows and this and that. Everybody that was making rock music that's still alive, that making music in the 60s that's still alive now, they're out there doing shows now still. You know what I mean? But they tell rappers they got to retire at 40. That's crazy. Not in sync. In sync, you see my grays. That's another thing about synchronization, man. Your age has nothing to do with it. It's all your mindset and your skill level. So let me go to the comments real quick. Petro says you have to work out the work music life balance. It takes time, but it's doable. Working on mine after starting this new day job. Exactly. Shout out to Petrol. And it takes work, man. That's the thing about people that end up quitting this sync thing, is that um everybody these days is looking for instant gratification, and you can't blame us. Look at how they changed social media. Everything was like long form content. Then they created stories and reels and changed the short form content. Then they created social media platforms that catered to short form content, TikTok. um and so, yeah, people are used to that. Like, if it's not within 30 seconds, 1 minute, we're off to something else. That's just the way our brains are being wired now. It's crazy. Sagara says, I had to realign myself after things felt too much like work. It is work. Isn't that a trip? You're making music because music is what makes you feel free when you get off work. I'm gonna go make some music, grab me a beer, whatever it is, help you relax, and you go make music and you do it because that's your happy place. But yeah, if you're constantly working off briefs, or you're constantly trying to fulfill, time crunches and that kind of thing, then yeah, after a while, even though you're making music, um, it's going to feel like work, especially if you're making music that you're not naturally accustomed making to making. If it's not your natural style or whatever, if you're doing something for a client, and especially if the job is really tedious, because you know, Cherry said a little while ago, she just did her first multiple revision situation. Those get crazy, man. Those multiple revision situations, you could go back and forth. We've had projects where on a song where we literally went back and forth for like 3 weeks, with little stuff, talking about percussion instruments, and you know whether to hire a real percussionist versus, I mean, it gets so tedious or whatever. And yeah, and then you're waiting for this to conclude in a situation where you don't even know if you have the placement for sure or not. This is like, you guys are working on it. You guys, it's like hurry up and wait. You don't know if you have the placement or not. So this can definitely start feeling like work. This can definitely start feeling like something like, well, man, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. but stick with it, because each time you do that and you come through, you're really, really cementing that relationship with that entity. And that's what this is all about. I can't tell you, Kim can't tell you how many times we've had relationships with people in one situation, and then time goes by, we work with them, do the projects or whatever, we lose touch for whatever, and then that person will move on to somewhere else, get another gig. Oh, I'm over here at such and such, and they'll hit us back, or we'll reach out to them for something and be like, hey man, da da da, or hey, lady, da da da, and they'll be like, nah, I'm over here now, come over here and get some money. Or they hit us up and be like, yeah, I'm over here now, come over here and get some money. It's all about relationships. Yeah, you got to have your skills set up, you got to have your hustle title, whatever, but at the end of the day, you prove yourself by coming through, and being that person that entity can count on, and having your stuff together, and that's going to mean the world to them. And I guarantee you that 9 times out of 10, when they have an opportunity, they're going to look for you. Even if it's stuff that has nothing to do with them, it might be a department. Hey man, I don't work in animation, but my boy over at Nickelodeon hit me up and asked me yada yada yada. Do you think you can such and such and such? That's how this game works a lot of the time. It's not just I have the music and the sting outs are there, and I submit it correctly and I got the play. Nah, man. Especially when it comes to the higher level placements, to these ad placements, it's all relationship stuff. You're not getting $100,000 on a sync just because they pulled that out of a library and it's the right music. That don't happen that much. It's they hand pick those placements, either from an agency they're rocking with, or an artist that they're following, or something like that. But that's the kind of money that's in this game. Like Kim will tell you, our last ad brief was for 150,000, you know, and that was only like the second brief we got from that company. So I'm happy as a clam and chowder over here, because I know we're gonna eventually get them. And if we had got that one placement financially, like I'd have paid off my whole credit card with that placement. I don't owe that much, but you know what I'm saying? Like, so you get to the higher levels of sync, these placements are life changing. You get two, three, four placements in a year, and your year is like you done made six figures, good six figures, you get to that level. But this is all relationship based. So keep doing the stuff that you guys are doing. Don't let it get stale to you. Don't let it start feeling like work to you, even though it is work. But we're blessed to be doing music as our work. And it sucks that it's a marathon, not a sprint. It sucks that we have to wait a lot of time, you know, sometimes years for the payday. But I mean, like, look, I look at it like this. How many years does a person try to get a record deal? I figure from the moment they start trying to do music, the whole time they're doing music, they want to get signed, right? And most people that I've known, that I've grown up with, high school and stuff like that, that wanted to get signed, they wanted to get signed all the way until they aged out of it. So they was doing music and stuff all the way until like they got married and had kids, or all the way till they got into their 30s, or that kind of thing. Like they didn't stop at all. You know what I'm saying? So um this here, you don't have to stop at all. In sync, you don't have to stop at all. You can keep going. You can start. Like I started sync at like 39. Came out here when I was 37, so about 30, almost 39. So I was almost 40 years old when I started doing this, and didn't know the first thing about it. And so now I have a full company, a wonderful team, a a nice resume, and I can look back in time and look at every mistake that I made, and look at how I felt about those mistakes, because like I had crummy feels like everybody else, but each one of those mistakes was necessary, because I told myself, yeah, I know I'm gonna F up, but I'm never gonna F up twice. So yeah, I'll learn from my mistake and I'll pivot, and then I'll make something out of it. Everybody's road is different, so you guys aren't gonna necessarily end up with a smash coast if that's not what you want to do, but you can end up where you want to end up if you just keep doing what you're doing. But you got to keep your head in the game. You got to feel right. I don't want you guys getting up in the morning like, oh god damn it, man, I got to get on this computer and I got revisions, man, and I forgot to put sting out. So like, don't do that. Don't do that. you know think about what you could be doing, you know instead of doing this. Like, let's keep it in perspective, y'all. Like, we're making music, so how hard can it actually be? You know what I mean? So let me go back to the comments here. What's up, Jay Matthews? I just gave you some props, man. I caught pneumonia, so I've been out bad. Still trying to fight it, but I'm happy. So yeah, let's everybody give Jay Matthews some real good energy and some fire emojis right now, man, because I've actually had a couple people do really, really bad with pneumonia. Pneumonia is serious. Like, especially like me, I have an autoimmune situation. Like I got autoimmune disorder. So pneumonia could kill me easily. If I catch pneumonia, I'm getting admitted to the hospital right away. Like, it's a serious situation. There's a lot of us out there like that. So we praying for you, Jay, man. Get better, take care of it, drink plenty of liquids, sweat that shit out, man. Stay covered up, sweat it out. And you know what to do. Pneumonia is an infection, so I'm not sure if they're giving you antibiotics or not, but if not, you might want to think about that. I don't know how bad it is, but like, yeah, let's give you some good energy, man, for sure. Revision says, yes, I'm a plumber, so I'm in between jobs. I listen to podcasts or videos to better my craft. You're a plumber? Revision? Shout out to Revision for being a plumber. I was actually an electrician apprentice for a long time. Um, yeah, I stayed an apprentice because I wasn't actually trying to be an electrician. It was my friend in Phoenix was an electrician and I needed a job. And so he was like, okay, I'll make you an apprentice so you can get paid this good money. And so yeah. So I knew a lot of plumbers. I'm saying that, we're in the building before the building is built. So um shout out to the plumbers out there, man, and all of the people out there that got that are working trades. People that know trades, they make the world go round, man. They make everything happen. So shout out to Revision, man. And shout out to Revision for keeping your mind sharp in between. Because I know plumbers make decent money. But for you to be listening to the podcast and the videos just to keep your mind sharp, that's very admirable, man. We see you. Okay, I'm scrolling. Just a second, you guys. Blue and Dreams. Gio, what's up, brother? How you doing? Nice to see you. Gio's on the administrative side of Smash Coast right now. He's working with us with the interns. So let's give Blue and Dream some fire emojis real quick. Let's let them feel the love. Okay, let's see here. Sometimes it's better to take a step back for a second and sort of, sort out a timeline that works for you. Carve out a window. Exactly. And then Rose says, life's not about things so much as it's about relationships. It's about experiences. If we want to get all deep and philosophical, life is about experiences. And I say that not like I'm all wise and everything, because literally this is a lesson that I just recently learned in recent years, because unfortunately I was one of those people that chased material things. I wanted the hot car. I always had a whip. I always had to have, rims on my stuff. I always had wardrobe and all that. Like, and I did a lot to chase this stuff, and now looking back, of course, like I have no regrets. There's never any regrets, but like I'm like, damn, man, I could have had a bunch of property, land, you know, went on some cruises or something with my family. Shout out to my family. I'm actually going on my first vacation ever in December for my sister's birthday. One of my older sisters, I got two older sisters, for her birthday, and she's actually turning 70 years old. And I'm going on my first family vacation. We're going to Mexico, somewhere, Puerto Vallarta or somewhere, and we're going on a cruise. So it's the first time I'm going on a cruise, first time I'm going on a vacation, first time I'm going out with my family like that, and I'm way too old for that. And the reason why these are all first for me is because I had my head down grinding all these years. Before I was doing, the sing stuff, before I came to LA, when I was living in Arizona, I was just working, but I worked all the time. all the time I worked. And when I wasn't working, I was doing music. I was either singing in a group, or I was vocal coaching people, or I was songwriting or whatever. But I always had my head down, like trying really, really hard to make something out of myself, to be something. And when you do that, you sacrifice a lot. I sacrificed relationships, I sacrificed friendships, I definitely sacrificed time with my kids, time with my family. Um, and so, yeah, going back, if I had it to do over again, I definitely would map out a different plan where I would, etch more time from my loved ones and myself, whatever. But like I said, no regrets, man. I learned along the way. But so you guys that might not have gone as far as I've gone, you might have that same hustle mindset. I think you may, because you guys are on this live stream every week, and you guys are taking these courses and doing what you need to do to hustle. So just remember, man, what you're trying to get at the end of the day is important to you right now. And so, yeah, go for it, but don't not live life in between, man. Take time out, spend time with your loved ones, take care of yourself and this and that. Because at the end of the day, when we're blessed to live long lives and we die as old folks, right? And we're laying in the casket, people are going to be talking about us. They're going to come to our funeral and they're going to talk about us. Nobody's going to talk about what you have. Nobody's going to talk about how many placements you had. Nobody's going to talk about how much money you had. Nobody's going to talk about anything except for what you did for people and what kind of person you were. That's the only thing they talk about at funerals. They don't be like, man, Brother Matthews was rich as hell, man. He had placements up the wazoo, and had people at the funeral would be looking, they'd be like, what the hell is this dude talking about? Don't nobody want to hear nothing like that. They only talk about who you were. So in chasing what you want, don't lose who you are. Like, and it's a lot more fun while you're chasing if you do that. If you stay who you are, you have fun, and you don't place all of the pressure on the sync placements and this and that. You go out, get a job when you're supposed to get a job, and do what you need to do. Life is going life and get in the way or whatever. But I mean, you guys know what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be uncle and like, you guys know what I'm saying. Don't chase so hard that you lose sight of the big picture. And the big picture is about these experiences. And even going into sync, if we want to talk about music, it's the same thing with these music soups and these people that you have, you know, physical back and forth with, that you are talking to on the phone, you are doing Zoom meetings with, you are going back and forth in the email. These are experiences. So you can make these experiences very pleasant for these people by your demeanor, by having your stuff together, you know, your energy. I'm a big energy person, man. If I'm feeling you, I'm feeling you. If I to the point where your music might not even be that great, but if I feel like your energy is such to where you're the type of person, you're going to try to make it great, you're going to put the work in, I might rock with you anyway. You know, I invest in the future, for real, for real. So let me go back down here. um Jay says, what's up, Jay? I was going so hard, this pneumonia had me take a month off. Now I'm so ready to be back in the studio, got my hunger back. A whole month? Yeah, kicked your butt, huh? I'm glad you took the time off, man. It could have been worse. So again, we're glad to see you. And look at you. I miss recording. I miss recording. You ought to be like, I miss breathing. I miss breathing without coughing. Tons of meds. Hold on. Mayor, what's up? How you doing? I recently got 4 of my songs placed at Radio USA and in Singapore. So fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis for Mayor. That's good, man. That means you're gonna get mechanical royalties, you get airplay royalties, and those are good. 4 songs? Yeah, we're curious about that, man. We might want to hear these songs that you're getting placed on radio. What songs? Revision is Super Mario's long lost brother. Heh. He says he's been a plumber for about 6 years now. So shout out, man. Seeing the fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. Yeah, it's been crazy. I even had a little procedure this week. I got some stitches right here in my shoulder. I had to go get a cyst removed, little Dr. Pimple Popper style. I don't know if you guys ever watched that. Crazy, but I already knew the whole demo before I even went to the doctor because I watched Dr. Pimple Popper. I knew that what I had was a cyst, if just by watching that show. And I'm at the doctor telling him, yeah, this is a cyst. And he looked at it and he was like, I don't know if this is a cyst or not. And he starts explaining to me um what he has to do if it's not a cyst, or we're gonna have to cut and this and that or what. I'm like, oh no, it's a cyst. And he's like, are you sure? And then I told him, I watched Dr. Pimple Popper and I did this and that and this. And he's like, oh yeah, that sounds like a cyst. And yeah, so I got 3 stitches this week. No big deal. Didn't even hurt. We going through it, man. All of us older ones, us middle-aged ones, man, we are super glued and duct taped together trying to get this dream lived out. Yeah, Dr. Pimple Popper is disgusting. I can't stop watching. So Mayor says, shout out to Revision. That's funny. The songs are Evan Fall, Goodbye, Good Times, Babylon soundtracks, and Jibbanor. I can't pronounce that. I sang this in my native language. The songs are available on Spotify. You might want to go ahead and shoot a link, or at least shoot a link to your social media. Matter of fact, just put your IG ID. I'm sure you have a link tree or something to your music on your IG so people can get to it, right? And pardon my ignorance, but if you're if it's Singapore, what is the native language? You guys can help me out here. Filipino? No, let me not guess. You start guessing, it sounds stupid as hell. Let me not guess the wrong guesses. India. See, look at it. I'm tripping. Jay said I should have filmed myself popping this pimple all over the lip. Yeah, that's TMI. Had a visual of that. Let's try to keep it. That's my bad too. I did go left telling you guys what happened this week. Yeah, Singapore has a few languages. Shout out to my lack of geography knowledge. I'll be cracking a book or some YouTube when I get off this live. That's one thing I hate, man, is opening my mouth and not knowing what I'm talking about. That irks me. So are we done with the wins for this week? If so, we can get into this little sync section. Okay, so a little bit of sync this week. So first of all, the state of sync this week is very good, just like last week. It's even better. We are actually going. Hold on. Mayor says, I still haven't tried for sync yet. I'm prepared. I'm preparation for it and still learning the whole thing. Exactly. That's what you're supposed to do. So make sure you get ready. You do everything that you need to do. So by the time you're ready to pitch, you're actually really ready to pitch. You're the more ready you are when you start pitching, the higher your chances of actually landing something. And just keep in mind, even though you take all of that time to get ready, once you start pitching, it could take a long time for you to get a placement or for you to even get a response for someone. Don't be discouraged. It's just the nature of the game. It's just the nature of the business. We always say it's a marathon, not a sprint. Sometimes it can happen quickly, but most times it's going to take a while. So just keep pitching your music, keep learning. If you're pitching your music and a couple months goes by and you don't get any responses, it could be how you're pitching, it could be how you're setting up your music. So just make sure you're doing what you need to do to learn how to set your music up, how to pitch. Keep coming back here. We'll tell you the truth. We'll make sure you know what you need to do, and you'll have some success. You're going to get a music library or something. So going back to the state of sync, you guys, the state of sync is really, really good. Okay. Especially with the writer strike being over. I noticed that um, I don't know if they officially signed the agreement, but I guess they're going to get what they wanted to a certain degree. They're going to get more money. They're going to get some guarantees that AI isn't going to come and just mop them up and clean them up out of the business. And I was very, very happy that the writer's strike was over, even though they hadn't inked anything for sure yet. I saw Jimmy Kimmel was on TV and couldn't wait for that because I'm a Jimmy Kimmel fan. I think I love the show. I think he's funny, very witty. And I'm actually thinking about going and checking him out because we here in LA, we can go to shows. Like the tickets are free. So we just got to sign up on the website and go. You guys can go too if you guys are out here. You can always go to any of these talk shows to be in the audience. Is free, but sometimes just for entertainment, like we'll do that. I've been to a bunch of the game shows and stuff out here. Matter of fact, when I first moved out here, um, to make extra money, I went to sign up to be an extra, and that's what they send you on a lot of those first gigs as an extra. You do audience work for game shows and stuff like that, and so it was real cool. Let me go back to the comments here. Um, Kim says relationships are key. We're on an SEM takeover, 500 placements across 9 networks and brands so far in 2023. If it's streaming or on TV, yep, it's probably Team Smash Coast. So that's what Kim does for you guys. You see how she just went in and did the promo for Smash Coast. That's what we do for the people that are on Smash Coast. When we talk to potential clients or customers, we let them know you guys are awesome. We have the best music. Our guys are dependable, and that's what we do. And that's actually we have more than that because that 500 placements are just from one situation. So we've got placements from other situations too. So we probably are closer to 1,000 placements this year. So yeah, we did good. We did good this year so far, and we made some very significant ad company relationships and got that ball rolling. And so shout out to us, man, for the hard work and the perseverance. And I let you guys know, man, I get on here and I tell you guys this and that. I give you advice, give you the game on how to get to where you're going in this sync game. And I'm literally telling you guys stuff that we do day to day. Like everything that you guys are doing as far as setting your music up correctly. I'm telling you guys to email people a certain way correctly. I mean, you guys know we're here every week, so you guys know how I get down. I'm telling you the stuff that we actually do. We have to do all of the stuff that you guys have to do. It just doesn't stop, you know, unless we're the people that are creating the TV shows that need the music, then we have to operate in a certain way. We got to go get these clients on our side. So when I'm telling you guys how to, gain these relationships, nurture these relationships, do it by hard work, by being dependable, persevering, being that person that they can count on. That's our whole get down. That's how Smash Coast, we live in this business by having a very, very high expectation of ourselves. When we get briefs, we never wait till the date of the briefs. If they say the brief is supposed to be in Friday, we're giving the music back on Wednesday, Tuesday, if possible. Because we realize it's going to make it easier for that client or customer. They're going to be ecstatic when they get the right music they need for that project early, right? B, we're competitive as hell. So I'll be damned if you send us a brief and then send someone else a brief and we don't beat you to the punch. We're going to try to beat you to the punch every time and have better music doing it. And this also translates to a client, a happy client or customer. They appreciate that. They know when you're over there busting your butt for them. right? And so this in turn leads to some very, very healthy working business relationships, you know, and especially with music supervisors, because when you get them music back early, when you're very proactive with them, most of the time you're pulling their butt out of a fire. They got time restraints all the time. Music is always put in post. So in television, especially reality shows that come on weekly, where there's a new episode every week, they're slamming that music in there. You know, hurry up, please give me that music, give me that music. And they never want to use the same music. They want to keep that vibe for whatever that episode is. You know, so when they're sending you're sending them music and you get it to them early, they love it. That's another reason why a lot of music supervisors like to work with music libraries, just because of the convenience. They can just go in there and grab the music. The music is there for them. But sometimes they like to work with sync agents because they don't like digging. They like that personal, let me just tell you what I need and you send me what I need. When you can get that kind of relationship, you're rolling in sync. When you can establish yourself as that person that can provide that and be dependable with that, now you're rolling, because the person is going to look out for you. That entity is going to look out for you. They're going to come back to you every time. And then when you guys get to advertising, because it's so hard to get to those ad companies, when you guys get to that level, they really will not, they don't go to libraries. They only rock with people that they hand select. And once they get one with you, they're always going to come back to you for more placements. You guys notice in sync, these guys that specialize. So you see like orchestral composers, for instance, that do trailers, for like Marvel and video games and stuff like that. You notice they pretty much only do that, right? You don't see those guys doing beats for reality shows and sports music and that kind of stuff, right? And then you guys see the guys that anybody that's doing high level specialty stuff, like if they're in the ad game, they're in the ad game. They're not doing television so much. The money is too different, and then the skill set is different. If they're doing trailers and video games, the skill set is different. The money is different. They're not bouncing around. Um, so I say all that to say that there's levels in this game, right? So just keep that in mind. If you guys are, you know, making your pop or your trap or whatever, and you're primarily on television right now, you're doing background for television, just know that there's some really high heights to get into in sync if you play your cards right and just do the work. Me personally, I wish I had known this in the beginning, because I wouldn't have spent as much time in television. I would have just did television enough to bolster my resume, just enough to show, okay, he knows what he's doing. And then I would have ran screaming to advertising. That would have been my thing, is advertising. I just love marketing and advertising, just the whole concept of it, not just the music, but just the whole concept of what ads do, and the psychological aspect of what advertising is. I'm just fascinated by it. Composing orchestral, like when my guy Gildy Flores, when he called me one day and told me, hey, I don't want to do these TV beats no more. I'm going to take the next year off and I'm going to learn theory, so I can start doing, music for video games, start doing trailers and stuff, like heavy scoring. And he eventually wanted to do, be able to score his own television show and that type of thing. And so he took the whole year off to do that. Um, Came back like a monster, like, and so now his whole get down is like, Far Cry. He's doing trailers for video games, and like he's doing what he set out to do, because he knew he had to have a certain skill set to do that. I wish I had done that. I wish I had, you know, dipped in TV for a while, got my resume up, and then took some time out and then worked on getting directly into advertising, because for me that would have been the most fun, producing music for ads, and then it's the most money. In case you guys don't know, advertising is the most money in all of this. Advertising pays every actor, every producer, every director, every music supervisor, every one of us that does, from the theme songs all the way down to the background music. All of our money, royalties and sync fees up front, comes from the advertisers. 100%. That's where we get paid, except for the royalties. The royalties, I don't even know where that money is generated from, the streaming. But yeah, so getting to that level when you're working with those advertisers, man, that was That was something that I always wanted to do and just never knew how to get there. So just so you guys are coming up in the game, as you guys are coming up in the game and doing what you're doing, just know that there's a lot of different avenues in sync that you guys can take if you want to take it. You don't always have to do what you're doing right now. You guys are at the beginning right now. Those of you that haven't gotten placements yet, your placements are coming soon or one day. Once you start getting those placements, just know that that's the beginning of you basically grabbing the steering wheel and being able to steer yourself into your own destiny, going where you want to go. Um, I love synchronization. I love the fact that this was an option for me personally. It was really it was a life preserver. It was a life preserver for me because I was already old, y'all. Like I said, I came out here, I was 37, so I didn't start syncing till I was 39. It was like either gonna be this or I was back into, probably would have went back to Arizona and started working for the state again, the nice safe bet, regular insurance and all that kind of stuff. And I would have been cool. I would have, got me a little crib or something or whatever, and would have been unhappy as hell, because I just would have been one of them old dudes with a half a studio and a bedroom. And oh yeah, man, I'll be in there making beats sometime. Beats sound stale as hell, and don't nobody want to hear them no more. And I'm using old ass drum kits, and it would have just been a mess. So sync saved me. And because sync is always evolving and moving, it's not stagnant and static. It allowed me to keep my sword sharp and keep my skill set. Uh, get my skill set even higher than it normally would have been because I never would have learned to produce all these genres that I know how to produce now if not for sync. Sync will straighten your ass up, man. I mentioned this a couple lives ago. And for those of you who basically are used to making music the way you want to make music, you're not used to running your situation like a business, as far as like, registrations or your PRO or splits or even metadata or any of this stuff or whatever. You're just making music or whatever. Sync will straighten your ass up. Sync will make you have to focus on all of these details, from how to set the music up to the whole business aspect to communicating with companies or sync agents and this and that. Like, and you have to have these things in place. You have to have structure in order to be successful at it. And so this is what you guys are learning. You guys are learning the structure. The making the music part is easy. You already came to the table with the talent. So you just had to learn the ABCs of what to do with the music, but 80% of what you guys are learning is the hustle, what to do with your music. How do I get my music from off my computer onto a television set? How many steps do I got to take to do that? And this and that. And so you following these steps, you guys are changing. You guys are turning into people that some of you guys sucked at it. Some of you guys weren't responsible with, didn't know how to email somebody. You guys didn't know business etiquette and that type of thing. But you have to learn these type of things in order to do that. So at the end of the day, by the time you end up getting your first placements, you are a changed person. You know business a little bit. Like you got some skills now, you got some knowledge and stuff. So at that point, you got options. Anytime you educated, you have options. Anytime you have knowledge, you have options. A dumb mom don't got no options, man. They got to do what is given to them. But the more you learn in this game, the more options you have. Just like I told you the story about Guilty. He's like, if I stop doing this, and I learn this skill set, then I'm going to have all these options. And that's exactly what happened. He stopped, he learned, and a whole different world opened up to him in sync. So yeah, let me go to the comments real quick. Let's see. Currently trying to make my Spotify a bit more accepting. I heard somewhere companies are actually more interested in these nowadays because of AI. True. Companies are interested in anybody that's hustling. So if you guys got your music out there and you're not trying to make movement with it, then I mean, come on, would you be interested? If you were in any of these companies' shoes, you would want motion too. You would gravitate toward that artist that was putting that energy off, that was giving that energy of like, I'm out here busy. I'm trying to please these fans. I'm putting this music out. I'm active as hell. I'm at these festivals. I'm doing whatever I can do to get on. I'm trying hard. I'm working. you know. And so yeah, definitely make your Spotify look good. We've had many, many conversations, the fam on here about social media and how important having your social media glued together is if you're trying to impress these companies. Because essentially that's your resume before anybody meets you or speaks to you, before you hand anybody or email anyone anything. This is the way that they can get to know you before they get to know you. They go to your Instagram or your threads or your wherever it is, and they see how you get down. They see how you're posting, what you're posting, how often you're posting, that kind of thing. And all of these things are telltale signs um, that let potential clients or customers know how you get down, whether you're a good investment, a good risk or not. So, yes, by all means, tighten up your Spotify, keep dropping music, stay active that way. Make sure that you're not posting a bunch of side stuff. I know we got a lot of distracting things in the news right now. We got Palestine and Israel, we got, Trump, we got, you know, Britney Spears swinging knives at people. We got all kinds of stuff going on right now that could distract you and get you off your square, and have you posting stuff that's crazy. Don't do that. Don't get involved in that. Um, yeah, if you want to look at stuff and whatever, entertain yourself how you want to, but in your posting, stay on topic in your posting. If you're a music producer, post your music production. If you're an artist, post your music. If you're syncing, post your placements. If you're trying to sync, post your progress. But whatever it is you say you do, that's your profession, post that. Stay away from everything else. Every once in a while, if you're consistent with posting, staying on topic, then yeah, you can give a glimpse into your personal life. You can, oh, I was out on the weekend with my kids, or I did this and that, or whatever. you know yeah, show your personal side sometime, but stay away from your personal opinions. No one wants to hear that. Stay on topic, because if you guys don't know it or not, the second you guys want money for your music, you are a business now, so operate accordingly. And you are a brand as well, so operate accordingly. Pay attention to your branding, pay attention to your business etiquette. Music is the fun part. Exactly. It is the fun part. So real quick, going back to the writer strike real quick, there is a, I don't want to say a misconception, but there's a vibe that there are going to be floodgates that open as far as sync is concerned. Um, Hate to pop your bubble, but in my most humble opinion, I disagree with that. People are getting back to work, but there isn't going to be more shows that need music. It's the same shows that need music. They need the same amount of music they needed before the strike went over. It's just a pause. So these people are jumping back into the boat. They're gonna be needing music. Most of these music supervisors that had their teams, they had guys like us, they had guys like you, ladies like you already. They're just going back and calling their teams back up and saying that, hey, it's time to get back to work. It's not like floodgates for a bunch of new people to come in. Uh, like there's a bunch of new opportunities and new shows. There's tons of opportunities and tons of shows. Um, but I wouldn't say a veritable floodgate of like, oh, there's just all this ample opportunity or whatever. It's just the same amount of work that you're gonna have to do to, you know, before the strike, that you got to do now to get in there. It's a hustle game. Um, and I keep preaching to you guys that it's relationship based. So these people that had relationships with creators before the strike, they still got those relationships now. So it's still up to you guys to create your own relationships, do what you got to do to get in there and hustle. Now keep in mind, and also scripted television, by the way, is harder to get your music on. You got to have a little bit higher skill set to get unscripted television. I know we're in-house at CBS. It's hard for us to get on CBS shows because the music is so specialized and they already have their guys. Like we got, we know the top soups of CBS, so we can get music on, all the NCISs and the Star Treks and all that stuff or whatever. But the guys that do music for those shows have been doing music for those shows for years. They don't need a bunch of music, different types of music for those shows, because they're very specific types of shows. So Star Trek, for instance, uses a lot of they don't use a lot of commercial music at all. They don't use songs, they don't use beats. They use cues. So those cues would be a lot of odd electronic cues, very specialized stuff or whatever that most people aren't going to have a bunch of stuff laying around unless they do that, right? Unless they specialize in that. Um, a lot of the scripted television is drama, so you could so there's tension cues. And I preach to you guys till I'm blue in the face, and I'm black, so me being blue in the face is kind of difficult. So, but I preach, do tension cue albums, stay ready so you don't got to get ready. Tension cues are the most used music on television, period. If you had a bunch of tension cue albums, then you'd be set to take over scripted television because that's mostly what they use. Every style that there is, I'm gonna say genre, but every style of tension cue that there is used on scripted television, from comedies to dramedies to documentaries to dramas to horror movies to that's all tension. 100%. It's not full songs. It's not beats like trap beats. It's not EDM. It's not pop or whatever. It's 100% tension. So you guys, yeah. So you guys, keep doing the songs. I'm not saying don't do them, but if you're really, really trying to like be ready, tension albums, man, especially coming off this strike, whoever's pinching tension albums right now, like the libraries, they're going to be winning because that's what's getting used most. So going to the comments right here. So Garrett says, didn't get my first scripted series placement until this week, and it was tension. See, it ain't like I know what I'm talking about, right? I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know what I'm talking about, but I know what I'm talking about. Shoot, shout out to Segura for validating my knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much. Shout out to Segura. And it took a while. So he's been in the game for a couple years, and it took him a while to get his first scripted. But that's next level. So fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. You have definitely leveled up. If you're getting scripted placements now, you have leveled up. That's next level. The scripted placements are very important because there's a specific storyline or specific topic. Not that it's not like that with reality television, but with scripted, it's scripted. So they're very, very intent on, okay, this music really has to, she's going to be saying this here, and we're going to put that music da 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 da, and so it's a big deal. And usually with scripted television, well, more times than not, you get money up front for scripted stuff, for network stuff, network and cable stuff. So you leveled up, brother. Segura doing it again. Fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. You giving out gems, man. Folks have to take notes. I'm trying, man. Week after week, I'm trying to give you something new. I don't want to keep regurgitating the same stuff because you guys are very on point. You guys know a lot of the beginner stuff, how long to make cues and sting outs and all that kind of stuff. And so sometimes I won't say I struggle, but sometimes I wonder, I'm like, you guys are like so knowledgeable. Like, what am I going to come in here and talk about? You know, that's why sometimes we get off on our tangents and we talk about other stuff like Dr. Pimple Popper and stuff, just because, Mayor says, I'm so glad I managed to get online for your live this time. Learned so much from just this live session. Man, I appreciate you coming. We try to do this every week. I think I've only missed one or two in like the last couple years between here and Instagram. And it's not easy. So I appreciate you guys coming, man. I promise this week I'll do some promo. I always say that, but I don't ever promise. So this time I promise I'm going to do some promo. Kim, hold me to that. I got to get more active on here because my people are staying with me. So I got to give them more. So, okay. That was the state of sync. We know that the writer's strike is over with and scripted television is back. And that basically means that the overall vibe, the mood in Hollywood is happy. People getting back to work, making their money, and that's always a good thing, man. Being off work, they were talking about filing for unemployment. And I don't think you can file for unemployment if you go on a strike, homie. But I'm glad that you guys are back to work and you guys don't have to do that. And we're glad. and we're right here ready to serve you guys with all of our great music. So quick Q&A real quick and we'll get out of here. Damn, it's been 2 hours. I swear I was going to be out of here in an hour and a half. But these lives are usually so good, man. We get the conversation going so good, the time just flies by. And I trip out that you guys stick with me this long on a live on Friday, man. I appreciate it. I don't want you guys to get sick of me saying I appreciate it, but I just really do. I trip out. So no questions. We always do this. We get to the question part, and then I sit there and look at the comments, and it's quiet as hell. So I'm not gonna do that this time. If there's no questions, I'm gonna wait like another 20 seconds or so, and then we can go ahead and get on our Friday. And this is a challenge. I want these wins really, really leveled up this week. Um, there's a bunch of them, man. Hold on, let me open up my thing real quick. I'm gonna open up my Studio One, and then I'll start normally. Segura says, as far as tension cues go, what are your favorite VSTs? Omnisphere is a given. Um, I like Keyscape because I'd like doing acoustic. I like doing acoustic tension a lot. So that's strings, pizzicato strings, long strings, oboes, that kind of thing. And then real horns. Um, and pianos, keys. And so between Keyscape or Alicia's keys, I got Alicia's keys for that. And of course Omnisphere. um oh, okay, let me open a session here real quick and go through my VSTs. Yeah, Keyscape is definitely goated. Okay, so I'm gonna hip you guys to a couple that you may or may not know. These are some a little bit more expensive, higher level VSTs here. So let me go pop something open here for you. I got my session open. Um, okay, so we got so all of these are going to be opening up in contact, right? So you guys can take notes on these. These are all for tension. I got one called Action Strikes. It's called Action Strikes. Let me open it up and see the name of the company is. And it looks like the name of the company is Action Strikes. So look them up. I got one called Evolve Mutations. I got one called Lunaris Pad Instruments. So it's Lunaris. These are big VSTs. I got quite a few of these from Gildy that he got for video game trailers or whatever. I have one called Voices of War, Men of the North, from a company called Cinesamples. Voices of War. So it's all like gothic vocals, whatever. Suburus from Audio Imperia is called Suburus Epic Cinematic Drums. I got a bunch of them, man. Cinematic Effect Legacy Cinematic Effects Series, Talos, um, Epic Brass Ensemble. This is all from Audio Imperia. Next Gen Choir. I got a bunch of choir stuff. I'm like, I got a bunch of stuff, but to answer your question, I guess go to if I was just like, okay, if I'm just gonna just jump in here and do some tension cues, and you don't have a bunch of VSTs, um, you already know what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say Omnisphere because Omnisphere has all those instruments. It has the keyboards, it has the strings, it has all that stuff in it, you know. So I definitely could do. I could do 30 albums of tension right now with just Omnisphere and some drums if I needed drums. So let's see. Scrolling up saying Petrol says, do you think Omnisphere has been overused? I don't know what you mean by that. Overused by who? It doesn't matter to me what other people have ever done with a VST or any software equipment or anything. So I don't know. I don't understand the overuse. Overused by who? If it hasn't been overused by you, then it's not overused. Are you talking about how the community be like, oh man, Omnisphere has been, people talk like, no, I don't believe in that kind of stuff, man. I believe it, you know, you come into my kitchen, you eat my food, you eat what I cook, and you eat whatever I cooked it on. Ain't nobody gonna listen to my beats talking about, oh, you made that an Omnisphere? That's over you. No, no. You already know I can produce. I'll scorch it. I'll take a frying pan and a branch off the tree outside and make a hit. Hit. What's the update on SC getting its new website? We're trying, man. It's a lot of tedious work. We're working on the first 500 songs, so we're actually cross-referencing all of the registrations and metadata right now. And then as soon as we get that done, then we're gonna start loading up the first 500 to the platform. So soon, I don't know, but soon. Thanks for asking, man. That's a great question. Thank you for asking. Mayor says, I've done a few soundtracks, but those soundtracks don't sound fit for sync. Should I change my approach when it comes to the structure for the tracks? What you should do in that sense is you should just turn your equipment off for a minute and start studying with your eyes and your ears. So go watch a lot of the media that you want to make music for. So if you're doing So a soundtrack would be like for a film, but if you're trying to like score for video games, do music for video games or trailers or whatever, just start looking at a bunch of that stuff and listening to the music. It's like when I tell people when they first started making music for television, a good way to figure out what kind of stuff to make is just go watch the TV shows that you like to watch that you figure that you want to put your music in. Close your eyes for 5, 10 minutes and listen to the music. Don't watch the television, listen to it. You're automatically going to tune into what kind of music is being used, how long they're using it, how often it's being used, all of that type of stuff. So just go study the type of media that you feel like you can specialize with your music in. And then if you do that, you listening to the music is going to teach you everything you need to know about how long the, the pieces need to be, what kind of music that they're using, how it's set up, structured, and this and that. And then if not that, then there's a ton of people out here that can teach you that kind of thing. Anthony Clint, Gildy Flores, Excalibur Cyril, XJ Will, myself. There's a bunch of us. There's courses, Road to 10 placements from Clint Music, teach you the ABCs. If you have a specialty, if you're doing orchestral or like film trailer kind of stuff or whatever, you can always go on social media, look for people that are winning in that area, getting those kind of placements, making that kind of music, get in the DMs and talk to them, ask them questions. More times than not, they'll be more than willing to help you out, give you some structure, you know. Um, Wanting to learn and seeking knowledge is very infectious, I see. And you would think that people would receive a lot more hate, but nah, like in this community, we receive a lot of love. Like when people are trying to learn something, there's a lot of people out here that are willing to jump and help them and teach them stuff. Because we know we talked about it last week. We can't do this alone. I don't care how good we are, how talented we are. I've gotten helped immensely by a bunch of people. Kim helps me daily. I couldn't do what I do without her. None of us can do what we do without each other. So, and this is a game where we're all hustling, trying to get to where we're trying to get to. So there's no blueprint. So I'm glad that we have a community where we're like-minded and we help each other. But yeah, just study, man. Just study in the first place. You'll figure it out. When it comes to structure and stuff, that's the easy stuff to learn. Just watch the media and listen according to sync standards. Yeah. If you hear it on there, then it was according to sync standards because it got placed, right? It got used. So salute to you, Studio. Studio One is all that and then some. Even though FL Studio just dropped this new stems feature where you can extract stems out of there. And I've had FL Studios forever, just forever, and I don't know how to use it. I've never used it, don't know how to use it. But I'm thinking about learning just because of that. So what's up, Presonus? We might need to hit Presonus because we need that in Presonus, man. We need that stems feature in here for real. Action Strikes as Natives Instruments, Studio One. Yeah, Action Strikes and Damage. So you guys got the good stuff. Spitfire Audio is good for orchestral and great for tension. Petrol. I need some stuff, Petrol. You need to help me out. Okay. Vision says if anybody needs free good sounding instruments, I recommend checking out Decent Sampler Piano Book. Hold on, let me look that up real quick because I'm probably gonna download that. D E C E. Decent Sampler Piano Book. Sampler, Decent Sampler. Oh, check this out. You gotta log in and stuff. This is all free stuff. Piano variations. Let me click on it real quick. Log in to download. Oh, you can just submit a demo. Plus, okay, yeah, I'm gonna check this out, man. See, he's giving you guys some game. Isn't it a trip how dope how dope free stuff has gotten over the years? I remember like free VSTs and stuff used to suck, but like now you can get free stuff that's like they have this one called Free Orchestra. Free Orchestra. Go check it out. That's what it's called. Free Orchestra. Go check it out. Download it. You're welcome. Fire Tracks is up in here. What's up, Fire Tracks? How you doing, brother? Okay, Kim says TV and streaming royalties come from licensing fees paid by broadcasters and streaming platforms used to use their music in shows and content. Okay. Giving you guys a little bit of knowledge there. You can stem out in Studio One. No, I don't mean stem out, Cherry. I mean, we could drag a song in there and extract the acapella or extract the like. That's what I mean by stem out. You could drag a full song in there, and like if you want the acapella, you can just extract the acapella. If you want just the drums, you can extract just the drums from a wave. Crazy. Look it up. YouTube it. I use Serato Studio for the stems feature, and it's been great. Yeah, I was about to get that Serato, the same thing. Yeah, FL has really been killing it lately. Took them long enough. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out how to use that just to see if the beat making is, I've heard some really great beats come off of there. I'm good, man. It's been a good week. Fire Tracks, man, hustling, doing our thing, working on this catalog. You know, we were talking earlier about how happy we are that the writer strike is over with, and the whole vibe in Hollywood is like, okay, sigh of relief, people getting back to work. And so it's a good thing. So those of us that are in the scripted game, that are fortunate enough to be in the scripted game, we're happy. We'll always look forward to getting those opportunities to pitch the scripted television. FL has become quite the dog. Yeah, I know, huh? That's what I'm saying. If it's like serious like that now, if we can speak FL in the same breath as we speak Logic or Studio One or something like that, then I might have to check it out. Walter says you can't go wrong with Heavyocity Uncharted 88 for tension. I love it. I use it all the time. Heavyocity Uncharted 88. Okay, check that out, y'all. Take notes. Heavyocity. Okay. Petrol says FL Studio is the only software I have ever heard make your drums sound amazing, similar to an Akai. That's what I'm saying. It's like I wasn't gonna mention it, but yeah, FL, their sound engine is just automatically thumping. Like the drums are automatically thumping. You don't have to do anything to them, when you're creating. And that's like key. If you're doing hip hop or urban music, you want to when you press that pad, you want to hear everything in that sound, man. If it's got a little reverb, a little depth to it, little wideness to it, or whatever it is that you're looking for, like that ear candy, you want to be able to hear that when you load the kit up. And in most times when you load the kit up or you load the file up, you got to process this. You got to add your compression on there. You got to EQ that shit a little bit. You got to put a little reverb on there in order to get that life out of that kick drum or get that life out of that loop or whatever. And FL, from the couple of times that I played with it, when you go to just load some drums on it and just messing with the drums, like that shit is smacking right away. Like, and when you guys already know, when you hear sounds come out like that, even if it's not a drum sound, you're in, some VST, and when you hear a sound come and it just has life in the sound, you're off and running with your creativity. Like you start having ideas bubbling right away when that sound is popping, rather than you're pulling in the kit sounds dry. You got to compress it to get the kick the thump, or you got to shorten the 808. You got to do whatever you got to do. I can't stand that, man. So that's one of my biggest pet peeves is drums. If I could just pull up drums and my drums were always right, they could always smack and be EQ'd and stuff in the first place, I'd be a happy camper. But I spent a lot of time processing drums and trying to get drums to sound right, or even filing through drum kits, just trying to get something that smacks the way I wanted to. There's there's way too many drum kits out there. People are copying and pasting drum kits, and there's way too many drum files with no character in them. I'll just say that. So shout out to FL Studio and Petro for bringing that up. I've noticed that. Yeah, Serato Studio is good, huh? I might cop that this weekend. Yeah, still read to learn it, but the drums is not. You need to come give me an MPC lesson because I've almost forgot how to use this damn thing. I've had this MPC X for a minute, and I've learned on the MPC 25 uh 2000 XL. So I'm mad at myself for not knowing how to lay samples out on here no more. I've been on this software so long, it's just irritating. So maybe a Zoom call or something one of these days soon. Hook me up. I'm mad. Let's see. Not a damn thing. Just drop it in and move it to the next sound is crazy. Let's see. If I'm not wrong, FM initially started as a brilliant beat maker dog, but now it's just a different game. Okay, so they're full production now. That's good to know. It's the clipper they use on their mix bus and FL that makes it not. Okay, Mr. Technical Knowledge. I love you guys, man. The clipper. So there is a difference. So there's because I've seen people on YouTube actually arguing, oh, it doesn't sound different. It's the gain bus or something they were saying or whatever. So, but yeah, it does have a. I'm not like so thrilled with their sound library, but their drums are fantastic. I have settings in Logic that solve this and my MPC 5000 also. Hey, George, if you don't already have Serato sampler, you really need to add that to your production toolkit. I absolutely will. I've been sitting on it. I'm a tightwad, man. I don't like spending money. I like to look and check my account and see as much money in there as I can see. I hate spending money on stuff if I don't absolutely need it. And I haven't been cooking the music up lately. I've been, on the company stuff, so I haven't had a time, haven't had a chance to even just sit down and get into it. So, but I'm gonna get it for sure though. Especially you guys are telling me. I know you know what you're talking about. Serato Studio is eventually an NPC and software. Oh, okay. You talking my language. I'll bring the 5,000 loaded with a ton of stuff. Clipper, he means limiter. No, an actual clipper. Ah, Waves plugin bundle has great limiter. Yeah, I got the Waves bundle. Everybody has the Waves bundle, right? Put a one in a comment if you have a wave, if you have the Waves bundle. And if you don't have the Waves bundle and you're at the beginning of your production journey, you might want to start with that. I don't know, you guys, you got your you engineer guys who know the tech side more than me. You guys could either concur or disagree, but I kind of feel like if all you start off with is the Waves bundle, there's everything in there that you need as far as processing, mixing, that kind of stuff. The CLA stuff in there. Like there's a bunch of stuff in the Waves bundle. It's just wonderful. Yeah, I have those two, the Native Instruments SSL plugins. Matter of fact, I'm using the SSL interface right now. I got a few interfaces. I have probably like 5 different interfaces. I just switch them out. I had the Focusrite. I got the Apollo Twin Quad Core. I got the SSL 2 Plus. I had a few of them. Toot. I had like 8 pairs of monitors, and I had a bunch of crap. I was a gearhead for a second. So that's it, man. We're just chit-chatting gear at this time. I don't want to neglect anybody in here that's not on this. So Universal Audio is giving away their LA 2A compressor for free, everyone. So go grab that, go download that. So quick. I actually started buying the SSL plugins from SSL. Huge difference since I learned on the actual console. Get them. Okay, so you guys are out here nerding out now. Any questions? Quick Q&A, and we're gonna let you guys get back to your Friday. Yeah, we've never really had a gear conversation, so we might get into that. I might do a little bit of studying this week about what's new and what's hot in the production space, and we can talk about that kind of stuff next week. Cool? Yeah, we nerding out right now, Cherry. So we'll get on that next week. We'll get on some actual production stuff and some nerd stuff next week. Gear discussion, gear, software. So be prepared. We're gonna have some debates. 4-hour conversations. Shoot, we just spent 3 here. So we're about to really chop it up next week. Yeah, that's right. So, all right, you guys check me out on the Producer Whisperer on IG, man. I'm gonna be posting some stuff this week, and I'm gonna post some stuff on here this week. So check out my YouTube channel. And I'll see you guys back next Friday. Let's make sure we pile those wins up. And every little thing is a win. So no matter what you do, we're gonna celebrate it next week. So you guys have a safe Friday, a great weekend. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And that's what's up. I am the Producer Whisperer. Peace.